What up, YouTube? What up, nice guys? Basically, not a crime to be nice, so this is when nice guys retaliate. So today I got an interesting for you in our series of basically how nice guys get in a bad relationship. And I'm talking about types of women. And the one I was thinking about today is the woman who's a straight up fraud. And mind you that all of these types of women types of women, I'll say, can be in one woman, and she can present different aspects of this. But this is to kind of help get you in the mindset of seeing characteristics and putting I guess you can call it a title to it. And that way you can at least be on your guard and not really just, take yourself for granted. Because, a lot of times as a nice guy, you want to believe that everybody has a good heart, good intentions. And in today's world, that is pretty much the opposite way of how other people think. Usually in today's world, the way most people think is that somebody's always trying to get them, or somebody's got some type of ulterior motive and stuff like that. And that's one of the differences between nice guys and, other people. That includes good guys, bad boys, women, everybody. Everybody nowadays thinks everybody has something or some type of, have some type of plan to get you, basically. And a lot of times the mentality of believing, that people are good at heart and they have good intentions kind of leaves nice guys vulnerable to situations where people who don't have that. And so just keep that in mind. But today, talking about the fraud, this type of woman basically is, I would say she is a chameleon. And she does it, and her reasoning behind it, I think, could be multifaceted. I think you have some people who are a chameleon because they know what's right and they know what's wrong, but they just haven't made a decision on which way they want to go, which is bad for you because, that could go either way depending on how she feels about you. And so the variables in relationships a lot of time determine how a person is going to treat you as opposed to another person. And so you don't really have like a one size fits all for every situation. So just keep that in mind when you're evaluating or vetting a woman. So the fraud will lie to your face. She can present herself as one way and seems cool, but on the other side, she basically has. I think she's basically a selfish person, really, really selfish. And she's selfish to the point to where she might care about your feelings to a degree, but she's always going to put her feelings above yours, how things make her feel, what she wants, all this other type of stuff. She basically wants her cake, and she wants to have her cake and eat it too. And I'm going to give you something that is very important that you need to really understand about this type of woman. She is kind of similar to the politician in that they basically present as one way in public, and in private they're another way. But this type of woman, she presents herself to you one way, but in private she's not necessarily that good woman. All right. And other people might know it. And she might be very, very, very secretive. And this type of woman also she is so manipulative that she manipulates her own surroundings and the people around her to make sure that she's able to keep up her facade. So another characteristic of this type of woman I would be careful of, if you find a woman who don't like women that gossip. Now that could be a twofold situation. Now, gossip in itself is not a good thing. It's basically putting somebody else down. But the reason why she doesn't like a gossiper isn't because she um, is a good Christian lady. All right. She don't like gossip because that's the type of woman that'll expose her to you. It'll expose her to other people. It'll expose her publicly and basically crash her image. So the woman that's a fraud will always try to keep her business private. She'll always try to keep anything that happens between you and her private if it's bad. She is very dangerous for guys like us because she's able to keep up her facade and lies so well that you may not even recognize it until it's too late. And that's how dangerous this type of woman is for you as a nice guy, especially if you are, especially if you're just the type of person that just, wants to believe everybody is good. And I had a situation where a friend of mine, he was a good guy. He was, going places. He was increasing his value, I guess you say, as a man, in his career. And he found his woman that he, really liked. And he, I think I met her maybe once. And it might have been in passing, so I didn't really have a good time to, I couldn't just really look at her and kind of evaluate her. And, but the guy, he's a really good guy, a really nice guy. He's a really smart guy. And he, with this woman, it got serious and got to the point to where they were about to get, that I think he had already proposed to her. And they were basically, on their way to getting married. And one day he came to see her at her apartment, and he heard some noises. And as he got closer, it got louder, and he noticed it was coming from her room, and or her apartment. And it wasn't the sounds that you really want to hear. And basically, long story short, he found out that she basically had a friends with benefits situation going on. And he found out firsthand, which is probably one of the most devastating things that can happen to a nice guy, and it can actually turn you in. It can mess you up really, really bad. And so it's part of the reason for this particular series is to help you be on guard, but not necessarily be on guard to the point to where you just shut people out. It just helps you to be on guard to help you make a good choice in a particular woman. And basically, this guy, once he found out, he was able to confirm it, or talk to her about it, and he basically just shut everything off. Now, mind you, he was actually making a career move to where he was about to blow up a little bit more, and he left her at the door. So the point I wanted to make about this, that I really wanted to drive home in this particular situation, is that the type of woman who is a fraud, is so good at putting on this facade that you may only have one opportunity to catch her in a lie or a deception or a bad situation. And based on that, you need to make sure you keep your eyes and ears open, and also pay attention to her characteristics or who she is. Because depending on the situation, she may try to manipulate you and into thinking that nothing is wrong when there actually is something wrong. So her behavior might change, or her story might change in order to cover up her dirt, basically. And so, as a nice guy, you need to make sure you keep this in mind. And that way, if you do see that situation, you can question it, investigate it, and actually just be more aware of it. Because that might be the only time you have to catch her in a situation that that basically where you need to disqualify her. And the fraud, as soon as you find out she's a fraud, and she says a little white lie, a little black lie, a little gray lie, pink lie, I don't care what type of lie it is, it's still a lie. She does that. She has some type of deception. You find out from her friend, her social media, family, whatever, take that and just run with it. Say, look, you ain't proven to me that she's a good person or whatever. But you need to be mindful. You kind of have to be a little nosy in a way. Get to talk to her friends. Find out who her friends are if she has friends. Because sometimes she might not trust anybody. You might be her only friend, but she might have a lot of male friends. And if she got a male friend, first of all, that's just a red flag in itself. I wouldn't trust a woman with a male friend. And if she does have a male friend, it would have to be a person. Certain situations I can kind of understand. But what the determining factor is to me is that a male friend, if he's really just a friend, he will understand that she needs to back away from this dude. And this dude should always pay respect to you. She should never be with this person without you knowing. Actually, she really shouldn't be with him, period. And the dude should be understanding and she should be understanding. If either one of them are not understanding and they're like, well, you got to accept this person, this man, as being like a shortly distant third leg, I would disqualify that woman. Now, look, if your friendship with him is more important than your marriage or relationship with me, see y'all later. And, don't waste your time. And I don't know if I've done a video yet, but there is a technique I recommend that most men and women should use is how to basically keep yourself from falling in love with somebody. Because once you fall in love with somebody, it's a whole lot harder to see bad things in them. And that's another one of the things that I would recommend is, and I might have to just make a specific video about it because I don't remember if I have. But there are things that people need to fall in love with people. And if you can at least hold back one or two of them, you'll kind of give yourself a cushion to be able to evaluate them and make sure they're the person you need to be with. Because some people you don't need to be with. But if you fall in love before you actually find that out, it's basically kind of like a trap, and it can hurt you worse, and it can also make it a whole lot harder for you to get out of the relationship. So, but this has basically been how nice guys. These are techniques or observation nice guys should have to help them find out who a bad woman is or a negative woman for him, and not get into some type of bad situation. And this one has been about the fraud, who's a woman who basically seems good 99.99999% of the time. But you may only have one situation that 0.0001% of the time to actually catch her and then actually make a good decision and drop her. Remember, Don't fall in love with anybody until you know she's actually in love with you. But this is what happens when nice guys retaliate. Take care. Hey, if you could, please hit that like button, subscribe, forward this to another brother that you are, you ain't got to be black, okay? You can be white, Spanish, Asian, whatever. We all really deal with the same type of issues no matter what culture we're in. And we could always help each other. And so if you guys got any comments that might or experiences that you want to share, you ain't got to be long-winded, but you can just say something short just to show other people that this is something that you've dealt with it before. And also, like, comment, subscribe, and you guys take care.